Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Jenny from the Chopping Block. Today, I'm honored to have Julie on with us to explain some of the questions that I have regarding wellness. And Julie has over 30 years experience in mindfulness, mindset, fitness, everything surrounding wellness. So I'm so grateful to have you here today, Julie. I know you have had thousands of people you've trained, countless hours of training that you've provided for people. So I think that I'm really excited to have you here. I think you have a lot of answers to the questions that I have.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. And I first want to say, I'm just so honored to be a guest on your podcast. I've watched a lot of your episodes and I followed your journey and just saw all the success that you've been having with your own health and wellness. And you really are an inspiration to women everywhere. And the information that you put out in the world is just so needed and so valuable. So I just want to say thank you first for having me on today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to dive in with you. And the first question I have is, what has inspired you in your journey? Not only, making wellness and vitality like such an important part of your life, but now you're helping others in that journey. What inspired you to do so?
Great question. I have always known that I have a passion to help people. From a very young age, I've just had a calling to help people, but I never really understood exactly in what vein it would be. And at the age of 56, I think I've now kind of figured it out, a big part of it, and it's fitness and health, which is your wealth, is what I wanted to say. But it started when I was in my mid 30s. I was at work and we were decorating for a party and I was getting up and down off of desks and I started sweating and I started not feeling well. And I started a big epiphany of, oh my gosh, I'm out of shape. I am totally out of shape. I need to do something here. So it was an awareness. It was a wake up call. And I'm so grateful that I had that experience because a lot of people don't get like a little warning or a wake up call.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I started working out and doing cardio and, dieting like crazy. And I lost weight. I lost like 20, 25 pounds. I did it the wrong way actually, but I only know that now because I've learned so much over the years, but I started exercising a lot and I learned that I was getting powerful. I was feeling powerful. I was feeling confident. I was feeling strong. And I started inviting people to the gym with me and all my coworkers and team members. We would go to the gym together and work out. And I really loved it. I loved coaching them and training them. And this was when I was a corporate VP and I wasn't, a fitness instructor at the time, but I started delving into health and wellness and a growth mindset. And I realized that by working out and you start taking control of your health, you start taking control of your life and you start fixing those areas that aren't working. So I ended a 25-year marriage that wasn't working. I quit my corporate VP nightmare dream job and I moved from Pennsylvania to California, to Southern California, because I always wanted to live somewhere warm and somewhere near the beach. And I just started 9 years ago, really diving into health and wellness and fitness and on a whole new journey. And in that experience, I had the wonderful blessing to train under one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time and one of the greatest fitness mentors of our time, Frank Zane, for 5 years, each week for 5 years down in San Diego, and learned so much about health and fitness and the mind. And fast forward to last year, right before COVID, I was at a women's retreat. And let me take one step back. Before this, I met my husband 5 years ago as well. And he's a clinical exercise physiologist and started training with him and working out with him. And we both started working out with Frank and just really helping Frank write his books and all types of things. So I went really deep and got trained by an expert. Came back. I'm going to get to where it comes to where helping people is the biggest part of my focus. I woke up right before COVID and a voice in my head said, I belong strong. And I'm like, I do belong strong. And then I thought, we all belong strong. And then I said, you belong strong. You, meaning you, every one of us belongs strong. So I looked up and got the domain and launched our health and fitness company. So with this, we are taking the message forward that we want to help people one step at a time on their journey to build their strength and their power. And it all starts with movement and mindfulness and motivation. So that was my inspiration. And I now am just positioning to work from full time in fitness and getting out there in a bigger way to really use my voice to help others to take back their strong and take back their strength.
Beautiful. So before we get into your specialty, I have a few questions about Frank and like maybe something that he's taught you, or how did you link up with him? And what was like, were you nervous at first, him being so successful in, the industry? And like I don't know if it's most women, but for me, like when you say like just going in and doing cardio, like that's what it always was for me, up until very recently. So how was that process for you?
That's a great question. When I came to California, I started a marketing agency. I had some strong marketing skills, so I started working with a handful of celebrities and authors and trainers. And Frank, my husband, and I decided we wanted to go into a bodybuilding competition, believe it or not. I was 49 years old and I'm like, this is crazy, but I'm going to do it because I wanted to see what it was like to train like an athlete, to train like a champion. Mm-hmm. So we found out that Frank was offering sessions at his Zane Experience in San Diego, which he still does. And we went down and we trained with him once, and we went to our competitions, and I actually won, which was amazing, being, 49. But anyway, and my husband did very well. But we came back home and we were inspired by the session with him. And so we decided to go back for another training. And in the second training with him, he said, I need someone to do my marketing. And I know you do marketing and websites and things. Would you want to do that for me? And I said, sure. And so we started working with him and I went down and every single week and trained with him and helped him train others and learned from him. And we partnered with him on a fitness center in Laguna Beach and trained many of his clients and our clients there, and also helped him write his several books. So I help him with his book covers and designs and authors and editing. And so the point is that you're asking so that was how we met. And then it became a wonderful relationship. And so what I learned, the biggest thing I learned from Frank was that it's about muscle isolation, and all the moves and all the exercises and all the strength training moves that we do. It's focusing on muscle isolation. So if you're working your bicep and you're doing, a dumbbell curl, you're using your mind, also your internal focus, to focus on that muscle. And you're also getting a visual, a picture in front of you. What do you want your body to look like? Like finish before you start, meaning know what the finished body that you're working towards looks like before you even start working out. And then every time you go to work out, use your mental acuity and your thought process, your internal focus, to really think like, come on, bicep, I'm pumping my bicep, not just I'm doing 12 reps. No, I am very mindfully and thoughtfully doing these exercises to sculpt my body and to shape my body. And so that's where I learned so much and a million other things from Frank, and certainly he's a wealth of information. So, but that, in terms of everything I learned, that would be it. Using the mind in bodybuilding and visualization techniques, and really visualizing what it is you're going after, and then having a plan and working towards it.
Beautiful. And I usually ask what your specialty is, but I just feel like I find the need to ask because I'm reframing a question that I've been asking everybody else. It's like, what's more important, diet or exercise? And I thank you for helping me reframe that question, because I think it's more, first of all, like instead of saying diet, now I want to say nutrition. And I want to ask you, in what order do you see the most success? Is it mindfulness, mindset, nutrition, and exercise? How would you rate those?
That's a great question. I think the first and foremost important thing is that you have to set powerful intentions. and you need to have some goals, and you need to know what you're working towards. Some people start working out and they say, I want to lose weight. Okay, well, how much weight do you want to lose, and when do you want to lose it by? Starting small, setting goals, and then keeping score, keeping track as you go along. But so just starting out, starting small. And then the second thing I would is have a training plan. Some people start out and there's the strength training, cardio, aerobics, and rest and recovery, which is the most often missed, point. But setting yourself up with a routine and putting it on your calendar. So that would be the training plan part, or the exercise part. I would say to have a balance of strength training and cardio training. And that varies on a person by person level. We give people personalized exercise prescriptions, but for you, I would say, look at, how often are you, strength training, and how often are you doing cardio? And then how often are you giving yourself that opportunity to rest and recover? Because your muscles grow when you're sleeping. Your muscles grow when you're meditating and sleeping and recovering. And a lot of people just push that too far, and they don't give themselves enough time for that recovery process. The other part would be, we talked about mindfulness and mindset. And I would say that is so important to have this, relentless focus on what you're going to, and watching the thoughts in your head as you're moving through it, and watch what you're saying to yourself. Because a lot of us have Eckhart Tolle said we have 65,000 thoughts a day, and like 80% of them more are self-defeating thoughts. And so catching yourself as you're thinking those thoughts, as you're looking in the mirror, as you're getting on the scale, you're working out, and that little voice inside your head says, it's not working. The scale hasn't changed. Your clothes fit the same. You feel puffy today. It's not working. Why are you even bothering? And there's that little voice. I call it the two voices inside your head. But anyway, getting your mindset set. When you hear that little voice in your head say it's not working, say, oh, yes, it is, because I'm stacking my workouts. I'm stacking my healthy eating. I'm stacking all these things. And when you do that, you will achieve results. Absolutely. It's just that most people expect them way too fast. And I always say, it took you how long to get the body you have. And so it's going to take you it's not going to happen overnight to get the body you want. But if you stay focused and you stay relentless, and you don't have to push really hard and push tires up hills and stuff. No, you just stay focused, get more movement, watch your mindset, set up. We'll move to the next part, which is nutrition. Okay. And nutrition really should be first. I'm sorry, I should have started that. Nutrition is first and foremost to get the body you want. But with nutrition, it's having non-negotiables in your nutrition, and knowing that, set up your household for success, clean out all your cupboards of anything that will tempt you. If it's not here, you won't eat it. Mm-hmm. Eat more of your meals at home. Make Sunday your meal prep day, and practice mindful eating. Mindful eating is not eating because you're scheduled to eat, but it's eating because you're hungry. Absolutely. And something Frank used to say was, wait till the third wave of hunger. Oh. So, you one time it goes, ooh, you're hungry, you better eat. And you go, okay, that's number one. And then you start doing whatever you're doing, and you'll find you forget about it. And then later it goes, you're hungry, that little voice again later. And you go, okay, that's two. And wait longer. And so it's your hungry scale, like really getting in tune. Okay. Wait until the third wave. And then the last thing I would say is a growth, having a growth mindset and acting as if you've already achieved what you want to achieve. One of my mentors is Jack Canfield from Chicken Soup for the Soul and Success Principles. And I've trained under him. I've attended several personal retreats with him, and been a guest expert on one of his for one of his classes recently. But he always says, act as if and believe it's possible. And I believe that those are the two biggest things that people can do when they're going on a fitness journey. And it's believe that what you're going after, without a shadow of a doubt, you will achieve it. I don't care what the scale says. I don't care what the mirror says. I don't care how my clothes fit. I know I'm doing this and I know I will achieve it. And I want you to, and he says, visualize your success. Visualization, visualizing your future body, visualizing what you're working towards, having opportunities to just get pictures of what you're going to look like when you achieve your fitness goals on your mirrors, on your boards, have them everywhere, and act as if you've already achieved it. Get that excitement now.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know if I answered your question, but
you definitely did. But I have a couple more within the question.
Yeah.
I want to know what personally is some of your non-negotiables that help you stay on track.
Oh, this is going to be a hard one for some people, maybe, but my non-negotiable is, and I'm going to call it a semi-non-negotiable because it's 90% of the time. I eat all my meals at home.
Okay.
I cook all my meals at home, and I control all the ingredients because sodium, I mean, outside of, all the other things you look at on a label, if you start looking at sodium, you will be beyond shocked because the sodium on a label is showing you the sodium for probably like one serving. And if it's a little can of tomato sauce and it's like 380, that's usually for one serving. So the sodium in like one can of tomato sauce could be like, 1,000 milligrams. But if you buy no salt added tomato sauce, that means there's no salt added to the product whatsoever. You're just getting straight tomatoes. And when you start having that mindset and all that around fats and, protein and carbs, you start paying attention to what you're eating and then stocking your house with only healthy things. That's so eating most of my meals at home is, like I said, 90% of the time I eat at home, 10% of the time I'll eat out, maybe even 5% of the time. But when I do, I'm very mindful. I'm mindful about what I eat, but yet I also don't deprive myself of anything whatsoever. When I go out, that's my time to relax and enjoy all my hard work. So, but cleaning, so that's one non-negotiable. The other one would be strength training 3 times a week for women. Every 10 years, we lose muscle mass. And every decade, we're losing muscle mass. And that's why over the age of 40, people say, well, I'm eating the same things, but now I'm putting on weight. Well, that's because you're losing muscle mass. And when you lose muscle mass, your metabolism goes down. Muscles require a lot of calories. So that's why when I work with women, I always work with them on their glutes and their quads, because those are the biggest muscles in the body. And when you can get those strong and muscular, and I'm talking sculpted, I'm not talking blocky, I'm talking sculpted.
Mine are huge. I'm trying to get them muscular.
Right. Yeah. Right. And I can help you with that. But when you get them strong and muscular, they're the biggest muscle groups in your body. So they do help you to metabolize faster. Yeah. So strength training 3 times a week. That's another non-negotiable. And then of course, drinking water, which is also such an easy thing to do. And I cannot tell you how many people do not drink enough water. Oh, wow. So I hope that's helpful.
Definitely. Thank you so much. And I'm really curious because I love Jack Canfield. I've actually met him like a year and a half ago. And I just I felt like God was like talking through him. Like it's just like he's just like that kindred soul. I just want to know what was some of your favorite takeaways or something that you learned while being a speaker with him talking about wellness. How was that for you?
He's absolutely incredible. Anytime you have the opportunity to go to any of Jack's events or just go to his website, jackcanfield.com, and look at his videos there and his tapes. I think for anybody on any journey in life, it's just such a great resource for anyone. But the thing I learned from Jack that I think was probably the biggest thing for me is visualization, and using the power of visualization and meditation to achieve your success. And so with visualization, again, visualizing the outcome you want, visualizing the relationship you want, visualizing the body you want, actually seeing it in your mind's eye and playing it over and over again. Visualize what you want, because the mind does, as he teaches, the mind doesn't know the difference between something you vividly imagine and something that's real. And then even getting excited when you're visualizing about this future thing, because through the law of attraction, or law of vibration, like you start pulling these things in towards you. The other thing would be meditation. And Jack teaches meditation and teaches you how to meditate. And I know for a lot of people that's really hard, myself included. I have a monkey mind that's just all, jumping around all the time with a million thoughts and ideas. And through Jack's meditation techniques and tips, he teaches you how to pull that in, how to harness it, how to slow down those thoughts in your brain, so that when you meditate, you're really slowing down these thoughts in your brain, and you'll find that you feel calmer, you sleep better, you have more peace, and also new ideas and creativity come from that. So from what the things I've learned from Jack, I could probably sit here from now until tomorrow and share, because I've learned so much from him and from his Success Principles book. If anybody out there hasn't read it, I highly recommend it. It's 69 success principles that just really will rock your world and change your life for the better forever. So I can't say enough great things about that.
He's always had a big impact on my life since I'm young. And it's crazy. Like meditation, I think, has like saved my life. Like and I always think about it being like my true self. Like when I get into that state, it's like it quiets down the ego and all those limiting beliefs. And anytime I'm upset, I use it. Or before I go to bed, if there's something I felt lacking during the day, like I'll do a guided sleep meditation on it. And I think that's really, I don't know for sure, but in my heart of hearts, I feel like that's really helped me like change my mindset, because like you said earlier, just having all those thoughts that might not always be positive for whatever reason our minds are programmed that way. I think this like goes to the depth of like our subconscious that turns into like our conscious thoughts. What do you think about that?
100%. You're absolutely right. I think I said earlier, we have 65,000 thoughts a day, and something like 80% or more of them are negative, self-defeating thoughts. And a lot of times it's our brain. We also have these well-traveled roads in our brain of our thoughts, looking back on things and replaying those bad things over and over again, or projecting forward to fear. What do they say? Future events appearing real, but they never happen. Right? Yeah. We have fear of future events appearing real, but they never happen. So what meditation does is it keeps you in the now, in the power of the now, of the moment, and keeps your mind from wandering and keep it centered and focused. And Jack's techniques that he teaches, along with meditation, he teaches tapping and he teaches other techniques that help you to really slow down all those thoughts in your head and to really take control of your own mind and use it for its fullest potential and for positive things in the world. And so, Jack also teaches a law of attraction, which I think is amazing. It has you, you're really vibrating at a higher level, a higher consciousness level. And it's a different way of thinking than sometimes comes naturally to us.
Absolutely. It reminds me of like Napoleon Hill too, and just like acting as if we have it already. And I've been doing that lately and a tool that I have is just showing gratitude. Like I'm so grateful that this is happening and things are changing. So, but just not only to believe it, but to be so incredibly grateful for it. Like, and it's not even there yet, but it is. It's like really interesting way to look at it.
It is. And whenever you're stressed out, the more we can be in gratitude, it takes those stressed out feelings away, because then we realize how much we do really have to be grateful for. So I love you saying that. It's so true. It's so true.
And I want to ask you, what is your specialty and what led you there? Because I feel like sometimes people have, like, I know some of the work I do, it's like, what's your ideal client? Or who do you help when you want to help everyone? Or who could I best serve? How did you find that? And what is your specialty?
My specialty is working with women in the ages 40 plus, although I do work with women of all ages, but I would say my specialty is more so it's just that they've found me, and teaching women that this idea of a lot of people come and say, well, I want to lose weight and I want to be in shape, but, I like to get to their why. And so I call it like my superpower, helping people tap into why do they want to do it? What do they want to achieve? How will they feel when they've achieved it? And helping give them little steps along the way that help them on their path. Because a lot of times we all start out with really great intentions. I want to get in shape. I want to lose weight. I want to be fit. And then, life happens. Life happens. We're the doers, right? I mean, women by nature, men are hunters and women are, we're generally, I'm speaking generally, not everyone, but we're multitaskers and we're the fixers, we're the connectors. It's by nature that we're this way. We're the connectors, we're the fixers, we're the helpers. We're the like, you need this, I'm there. Need that, I'm there. Can we do this? Sure. Can we do that? Right. And we're juggling 17 million things. And the thing is that our own health and wellness sometimes fall on that priority scale. But what I help people think about is if you continue on your journey in terms of health and fitness, where you are right now without changing a thing, where would you be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years?
Ooh.
And think about that if you're on that same trajectory and nothing changes, right? But then think about that same trajectory and think if you set some goals for yourself that, 20 years from now, like I want it, like I'm 56. So 20 years from now, I'll be 76. And then, even after that, I want to be that 90-year-old woman that people are chasing around going, we got to get the keys off of her because she just keeps going, but like I'm setting that future intention for, and not taking for granted my health and not waiting for some kind of event to make me want to, take my health more seriously. So that's one. So when you ask, what is my specialty? I think it's helping people realize that they have the potential to have the body they want, to have the health they want. But I also help them to understand that it's a process and you have to be committed and just start small. And then over time, increase that and keep stacking everything, keep growing, keep learning. One of my favorite things is I listen to some type of podcast or TED Talk or something every single day to just keep learning and growing. Because I don't even know how many human beings on the planet right now, but so many great ideas and thoughts and people that want to accomplish what you can accomplish have done it. So anyway, so that's my specialty. And also, when it comes down to the actual strength training, as I mentioned earlier, I have a very specific way of training that is joint friendly and no jumping. Women over 40, 50, 60. I even have clients in their 70s who have starting building muscle over the age of 70. So it's possible at any age and it's never too late to start.
Absolutely. And what is your favorite exercise?
Well, I would say I have quite a few favorite exercises, so it's kind of hard, but I'll talk about the one that is the most, I think that a lot of women that I train, the one area they want to work on is their triceps. And so this becomes one of my favorite exercises, mainly because when women start doing it and they see results, they're like, oh my God, I can wear short sleeves again. This is amazing. And then they start getting confidence and power for other areas of their body, understanding it is possible. So it would be a tricep extension, which I can grab a dumbbell and show you, but there's a one-arm tricep extension like that, or you can do the two arms, like that with a dumbbell. And I could demonstrate because I have my dumbbells here, but the bring your elbows a little bit there, right? Oh. But doing the tricep extensions, and I find when women get like definition of muscle, thank you, when they get definition and muscle in their arms, that they they start like I can carry more things, I can do more things. And my thing is go to the grocery store and park further away, take more steps, get moving, doing the laundry, break it into 2 loads and run up and down the steps twice. Like it's called practice NEAT, which is non-exercise thermogenesis exercise. And it's basically meaning that in your life, you can get more movement by just having this program button that says get more movement, get more movement. And I have my my Apple Watch, and people focus on the 10,000 steps and things. And I'm like, why focus on 10,000 steps? Just have this mindset of like, I'm going to get more movement. Every opportunity. Like, I got to go to the post office for stamps. Well, it's maybe a half a mile away. I'm going to walk for them. I know it's a little old fashioned stamps, but still like to send cards.
I love the post office.
Right.
I send stuff all the time.
I do too, but I know, isn't that it's really awesome, and I think it's a mindset. So I'm not sure if I answered your question, but I think that
no, you definitely did. And I love exercise. I actually noticed a lot of women talking about that. I see. How many times have you seen a woman go like this?
Yeah, it's cool. I'll show you. I have a weight here, and even like so. It's having the right technique and proper form too, because a lot of people, they're not doing this with the right form. And, they might not be hitting the tricep as much. Like, you can hold your arm if you need to, but, I teach women proper form, proper exercise. And like I said before, like if you're doing a dumbbell curl, it's like supinating and pulling it up and in and really looking at that bicep and telling that bicep, bicep grow. And so a lot of women, I'd like to dispel a myth real quick here. Some women don't want to do strength training because like, I don't want to get too big. Honestly, you have to be in the gym for like 4 hours a day to get big. Yeah. If you're doing the right exercises and you're doing sculpting moves, women, it's only going to make you, more sculpted in all the right places. So
that's great. That's great insight. Cause I remember when I first started, I would say things like, I'm a girl, or like, just like little stupid limiting beliefs or just blocks. But I love that you say that. Like, you would literally have to spend like 4 hours in the gym to get like,
right.
Like
exactly. And that's why I built my 28-minute workout program too. So just to address the idea that so many people want to get in shape, but our lives get too busy. We get too busy to do it. And I built a program called 28-minute workouts. I made it extremely super affordable so anybody can do it. But the point is that you get a calendar each month, and then every day, I walk you through a workout for 4 times a week. And then 1 day a week you're meditating, and 1 day you're doing meal prep on Sunday. Sunday's always meal prep day. Set yourself up for success for the week. But my point is, on that program, there's also a database of exercises so that if, I'm doing total body today, but you feel like doing arms, you can do, an arm exercise or something different on an area that you want to focus on. Because I truly believe that if women have just a half hour a day to work out, just 28 minutes, just get started, just do something. And you can always augment more. You can always go for a walk or a run or a bike ride. But doing these workouts, and I also have cardio workouts built in so that it's strength training and cardio. But having a plan is my point. Have a plan, and then have an accountability partner. We talked about this earlier, Jennifer.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about this for sure. Just the accountability to stay focused, to stay on track, and like how important that is. I don't know anything about your insight on it, but I'm dying to hear what accountability means to you.
There's a lot of research, and I have a bunch of research, and so I'm going to quote it to the best of my recollection at the moment, but it's something like you have an 85% chance higher rate of sticking to an exercise program if you have an accountability partner. And that's why a lot of people have trainers, because people say to me, if you didn't show up in my living room 3 times a week, on Zoom, like, I would definitely not be doing this. But I tell everybody I have a trainer, and she comes to my house. So, but she's, my one friend, she goes, I thought only celebrities had that. But my point is that she says, Julia, I've been training her since last July, this particular client. She's like, if you weren't coming into my living room 3 times a week and training me, she goes, I never would have done it. But her accountability was that, I'm going to be there. She has appointments and she has to do it. But the other idea that I think is even a lifelong idea is to get a trusted friend, relative, to partner with you and hold each other accountable daily. So that by, midnight each day, you have to now I'm not saying you have to work out every single day because that's not healthy either, but just that you're sticking to your plan, right? If your plan is to work out 4 times a week, that your partner knows those exercise days and times, and you're holding each other accountable to it. And there should be a penalty for not doing it, something that hurts.
Okay.
And you know, like, what's the penalty if you don't do it? Because if there's no penalty, if there's no recourse for you not doing it, there's nothing that's going to stop you. I mean, what was I going to say? Or there's nothing to stop you from canceling is what I wanted to say, if you don't have a penalty. But getting that level of accountability is super important. And then I think at a certain point too, once your routine, your fitness routine and your health and wellness routine has become part of your being and part of your healthy lifestyle, then obviously you don't need the accountability partner as much. But until you get to that point, it's really super important.
Love that. And I wanted to ask you, what's maybe the best advice that you've ever received on this journey, or something that you could share with us?
Boy, there's been so much advice. I would say that from, again, going back to Jack Canfield, and I think I did mention this earlier, but you know, in his book, The Success Principles, he talks about so many things, but the first thing in the book is take 100% responsibility for your results. Don't blame it on other people. Don't blame it on lack of time or lack of resources. We all have the same, the same access to resources. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Mm-hmm. And so once you take that 100% responsibility for your success, then you are able to say, okay, I'm responsible for myself and I'm responsible for my body. And like, I want to be here in 20 years to experience, my nieces and nephews and their children, and, whatever it is that you really want to do. We get one life, right? We have one life. And so taking responsibility for our results and figuring out, whatever age we are now, whatever age we want to live to, I'm shooting for 120, but, how is it that we can set ourselves up for the best possible success? So, and then the other things I talked about, of course, Jack saying, act as if and believe it's possible. Mm-hmm. And that is hands down to me. The biggest thing is to believe it's possible, and to, in your core of your being, believe without a shadow of a doubt, no matter what the scale says, the mirror says, like I said earlier, just having this belief and not letting anybody shake your belief. Nobody, having an unshakable, unstoppable belief that whatever you want, it's possible. And until you achieve it, just act as if you've achieved it, because your body's going to start working in harmony.
Beautiful. So, it took me a long time to really conceptualize that. So it's like, it's all a process. Like, you take it as it comes, and, just like what you're ready for, you'll receive, so you like, I conceptually understood it for a while, and now I'm like in the gratitude part of like, so it's like it's a process, and now things are starting to change. So it's, it's definitely a big growth. And I have literally 5 vision boards in here, but I have parts. And the other day I looked at one, and my body kind of looks like the body on there, and I'm like, ooh, this shit works.
It does. It does. I had a similar experience where I had a pair of legs on my vision board for many, many years, and I wasn't sure what, I just knew I wanted those legs. And probably about maybe 5 months ago, I think I was in a, an outfit, and my legs were showing, and I looked down and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are the legs from my vision board. They're no longer on this board, but they were on my last board. And I was like, oh my gosh, these are those legs. So don't underestimate that power of self-influence, like you talked about, Jennifer, earlier. I think that's so key what you said about self-influence, because I saw a TED Talk. They just talk about the power of, if you stand in front of a mirror for 2 minutes with your hands on your hips, and you speak all positive things to yourself, and you stand in a superwoman pose, mm-hmm. that you are really self-influencing. That we look in the mirror and we lose our confidence based on what we're saying inside our heads to ourselves. So the more we can stand in front of a woman like the mirror, like Superwoman, the more we can continue to just affirm ourselves and believe in ourselves and just grow in whatever area we need to grow in.
I do that all the time where I catch myself and then I'm like, no, I'm worthy. I'm enough. I could do this. Like, but it's like, I have to fight it sometimes still.
I love that. I love that.
I could literally talk to you about everything we talked about for like hours.
Me too. Me too. This is so
I want to
wonderful.
bring you back on.
Oh, thank you. You're a wonderful interviewer. And like I said, the information that you're sharing with the world and your journey of all, your weight loss. And I see you in the gym and you're doing your strength training and things. It's so inspirational. And I'm so glad you're sharing it with the world. So you have such a special gift.
Thank you so much. And I love you. And I love everything you've taught me today.
Thank you.
I do want to ask you a couple more questions. One is, like, what's your favorite meal? Like, how does your diet look? Like a day in the life of Julie.
Mm-hmm. Well, for breakfast, I normally have Fage Greek yogurt, 2%, and I like to put trail mix, peanuts, raisins, a little bit of that on because I always like texture things. For lunches and dinners, the thing that I'm a big fan of is 93% organic ground turkey. And I have learned how to make organic ground turkey. And sometimes even I mix the 99% and the 93%. And I make things like just mold it and make nothing, like just garlic and pepper and olive oil or coconut oil on a, baking dish and or even out on the grill and just make turkey burgers and bake them in the oven. And then I can make a whole bunch of them. My husband loves them. I do too. But what we do is we find creative ways to eat them, like heat them up and sprinkle them over a salad or take them. And if you're on the run and you're running out the door, you can heat one up and you can wrap it in lettuce. And, I love spice like red hot peppers and tapatio.
You're speaking everything in my language right now.
Right. And
We're meant to be friends.
a little bit of Parmesan cheese on there. Sometimes it has a little sodium in it. So I'm real just, sparingly, but enough, and sliced avocados. And so turkey burgers on top of a bed of steamed spinach and kale with a little extra thin slice of mozzarella cheese or Swiss cheese and a little bit of avocado on the top of that and a slice of tomato. And we eat tons and tons of vegetables, steamed broccoli, steamed cauliflower. We really like more steamed squash or not steamed, baked squash, things like that. But on my 28-minute workouts page, I divided a whole section of, there's a couple hundred recipes on there and mindful eating techniques. And so, but my point is the ground turkey, you can even ground it. You can make the patties and then you can shred it up and you can put it on, like a low carb tortilla, half a low carb tortilla with a little sprinkle of cheese or something. And, we're not no carb people, but we're certainly lower carb people. But every fourth day, our carbs match our protein. So I might have a plate of spaghetti, not a huge one, but because you need to replenish your carbs, your body needs them. So we're very much a Mediterranean diet. And a lot of my recipes that are definitely around, I do turkey meatballs too is another thing. And just turkey and again, the 93% and, garlic. I know it sounds boring, and pepper, but I make really nice big meatballs. Yeah, I put them on a baking pan and just bake them in the oven, on like 325 or so. My oven gets a little hotter than most, so you might have to go a little higher, but just cook them for like 20, 25 minutes and then store them in individual containers. And then I package them with, like 4 of them with some steamed broccoli, some steamed spinach, and heat that up and there's a meal. And I don't get tired of it. We do some things with ground beef too. And then sometimes we do like vegetarian choices. Like I said earlier, just a lot of, if we do have a pasta, sometimes we'll do a protein pasta. They make protein lasagna. pasta with like eggplant and
Oh yeah.
squash and those type of things.
Oh yeah.
hmm But again, we're in the 90-10 rule. We're 90% of the time we're eating very lean and very light and very healthy and good. But my husband always says, eat to live, don't live to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of us, myself included, when my girlfriends call, like, do you want to go out? It's more about the social experience, right? So it's more about the social experience, and we're excited about the social experience. And then sometimes we go out and we want to go with the flow, and we have something, and then we go, well, what the hell? I had a margarita. I might as well have the, tortilla or whatever. That's fine as long as it's not like 3 or 4 times a week, right? If it's once a month, that's okay. So my point is having a plan for when you eat out is important too. So
yeah,
so many good tips. But
yeah, you're definitely speaking my language. I want to thank you for everything you've shared. And I just want to ask you, where could everyone find you? I know you have a beautiful website, very user friendly. How could people reach you?
Sure, they can go to youbelongstrong.com.
Okay.
And on there, we have a contact form if they have questions. I'd be happy to answer anybody's questions. Just shoot me a note. I'm always monitoring our messages. And we also have an Instagram and a Facebook too.
And I just wanted to say also, like, about your candles and your jewelry, is that all on the website too, or is that a separate thing?
Oh, thank you. I didn't talk about the candles. We do have a company called Candleosophy, which I'll show you one. For people that have problems meditating like me, I created a line of meditation candles, Candleosophy. We have some gift sets on there too, but basically what it teaches you to do is Candleosophy candles teach you how to set an intention every single time you light a candle. Mm-hmm. So in this case, the intention is meditation. So taking when you light the candle, taking 3 minutes to just quiet everything and stare at the candle flame and to listen to those little voices that come in, and you tell them, you know what, just wait. I'm meditating for 3 minutes. This is a great way at your desk to just take 3 minutes. And I always say it's like if you have a really crowded room and you have all this stuff in the room, it's hard to get around the room. But like when you take some stuff out of the room, you can move more freely. That's kind of what is in our brains. We have so much going on there, and we're able to shut it down even just for a few minutes. Mm-hmm. You'll find you have renewed thoughts, inspiration. You start actually creating new neural pathways, in your brain. So that's the Candleosophy candles. And then for the jewelry, the Works Like a Charm Success System, we're getting it on the site, but basically it's a motivational bracelet that comes with a little book, and it teaches you how to set goals for not only your fitness and your health, but for your life using this bracelet. And when you wear the bracelet, every charm on it represents a step in the goal setting and goal achievement process. So just wearing your bracelet and looking at it reminds you of your goals. And I teach you how to kind of meditate on each charm a little bit to really reinforce what it is you're going after. And again, the belief that it's possible, whatever you want to achieve. But thank you for asking, Jennifer. This has been wonderful.
I love that. And, people definitely want and need that stuff. And the fact that you have that service.
Mm-hmm. My dog. Somebody's really excited about it.
She's really feisty today. I'm not really sure why.
Thank you for your wonderful questions and for everything. And I wanted to leave with one thought, just because I had some postcards made up and they say, take back your strong. And so this one had a little misprint on it, but the take back your strong is kind of my message to everybody out there. Whatever it is you're going after, you can do it. Start slow, take back your strong, and extend that into any part of your life that's not working, because it's just such a message right now. It's such a great time in the world. Everything's renewed, everything's reopening. And I'm just so excited to be here with you. And I'm excited to have been part of this today. This was so wonderful. Thank you, Jennifer, for providing this forum.
Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. And I definitely want to meet with you again.
Yes.
and I can't wait to rewatch this and like take notes.
No, let's connect. And I'll
Definitely.
definitely talk to you about love to hear what you're doing on your strength training program. And you've made such great success, but just love to help you in any way I can. So reach out.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And Anthony, I just want to acknowledge you. Thank you for watching. I hope that you found as much value as I did in this. And to everyone else, I will see you very shortly. I love you all and have a great day. Bye, Jules.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Ciao.
Have a great day.